Today, we have Wonder Woman in the house. I'm not kidding you. We have Wonder Woman. This is the most incredible video you are going to, yeah, see, there she is. This is Nicole Barker. And Nicole, honest to God, is a rags to riches story. And I'm just so pleased to have her here because I've asked her to share with you the good, the bad, the ugly, and now the great, and all the people she's helping, and how she herself has accomplished 7 figures in her business and is still on her way up. So with that, Nicole, thank you for being here. And I want to say one more thing, and that is that Nicole sometimes has a few F-bombs flying around. And so as long as that doesn't offend anybody, you've got to hear her story. So thanks, Nicole, for being here.
So excited to be here, and y'all have been fucking warned, okay?
So tell us where you want to start.
Well, you know, I think I'm going to start with a big fat thank you. I think I'll start with that. I'll start with a big fat thank you, because really, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit. Like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, because the things that your son has done for me are, I mean, there aren't words. There aren't words for that level of gratitude of being introduced to this world and really to understand the magnitude and like what I was capable of. I just didn't know. And Dino really helped me to unleash that potential and to step into what's possible, because I really had no idea that this whole world existed at all until I met your son. So thank you for that. For raising a beautiful human.
Thank you. Yeah, believe it or not, the coaching I gave him paid off.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Good. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, I met Dino. This has been, I mean, in correlation, it's been a pretty short journey. Like, I got started in this, it's been only about 1.5 years. The group itself is only 14 months old. 14 months old for my Facebook group, and now we have about 14,000 people in it, and it's kicking ass and taking names. And I can't believe how far it's come so fast, because in 13 months I crushed $1 million in my business. Coming from a world where, you know, it wasn't normal. Like, that wasn't normal. That wasn't something that like you'd ever heard of. I mean, it's definitely something that my friends don't believe me still.
Right?
Yeah. It's been one hell of a ride very quickly.
So let's back up and talk about the not so good days so people can relate to that it is possible to get to where you are today.
You guys, I am a fucking bartender. That is what I am. I am an overgrown bartender with definitely, you know, the tendency to make piss poor decisions. Like, that's who I was. I had a lot in my life, a lot to overcome in my life. I mean, I've got all of the daddy issues that you can, all of the ones you can think of, I have those. You know, kind of checked all the boxes on that. Actually, somebody in my group gave me a beautiful reframe on that yesterday. And she said, Nicole, we don't have daddy issues. There's abusive fathers, and we don't have to own those issues. They're not ours. And I was like, that is amazing right there. That is a brilliant reframe, because that's exactly how it is. You know, I grew up with an abusive father in the drugs and the molestation and all sorts of abuse and terrible patterns, and really being trapped in a world that was awful, not just for me, but for my brother and my mom. And it was hell getting away from them. And really not an easy thing for my mom to have to deal with. And then, you know, obviously with 2 little kids, my brother and I are only 14 months apart. So it has a lot of diapers at the same time, right?
For sure.
It's a lot of work to raise 2 little kids, and she wasn't that old herself. So kind of coming from that pretty like broken home, like stereotypical thing, I really hate the victim card. I do. I hate it. As someone who's been through really awful things, I can't stand to watch people sit back and complain about it and think that their life has to stay that way, because mine didn't, because I chose something different. And coming into this world, I got to reframe who I was, because who I was someone who had to be defiant, had to be aggressive, had to be in that standpoint of overcoming all the time. And so stepping into ease has probably been one of the biggest challenges. The easy part is the hard part for me.
Right? Yeah.
But I really, I really turned the corner a couple years ago. Like I decided there was no DUI. There was no big, scary, like terrible thing that happened. But I woke up one day after being behind the bar for over a decade, and I was a really good bartender. I made a lot of money for the industry. Like I was a bar consultant. I've always been pretty business savvy. My mom took that life and turned it into an entrepreneurial dream as well. My mom built her parents' company that was run very much like a mom and pop. Like, you know, my grandpa was doing the trash service here in Reno, and grandpa was just kind of giving shit away. That's what he liked to do. He was the kind of guy that he looked like Santa Claus, like really. He had like a big white fluffy snowy beard, and every Christmas he would dress up in like Santa clothes and like go to like the orphanages and talk to kids and do the thing every year. But you know, money making was not really on that priority list.
Right. Got other things to do. That's cool.
They weren't good about the business. So my mom took that business over. She bought it from them. They did not give it to her. She bought it from them, and she turned that, you know, struggling trash company into a $5 million mecca business that Waste Management came in and bought when I was a senior in high school. So I watched that, you know, of like, you can go from having absolutely nothing to having something, but that didn't click for quite some time. Little slow in the uptake for sure. So I kind of came into it because I quit drinking. You know, I decided that I was bored. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I spent a lot of time in the bottle, and being a bartender, it's kind of part of the fun and part of the perks. Like, and that lifestyle it's fast. It's a fast lifestyle where you work 90 hours a week and you drink every day. You know, and do all the things. And so one day I woke up and I was like, bored. I don't want to do this shit anymore. And I told all my friends, it was my birthday, and I said, I'm going to quit drinking for a year. And you know what they did?
They laughed. They know how much we put some money on this, right?
They definitely took bets. They all said, yeah, right, bitch. And I didn't touch it for a whole year. I didn't touch alcohol at all. And during that time, I met my wonderful fiance. I got fired from 2 jobs. They liked the drunk Nicole better.
Oh my gosh, that's really funny.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like, you're going to fire me now? Like, when I'm sober and have my shit together? Like, you let me run this place like a drunken mess for years.
Wow, that's phenomenal, really.
Yeah, it was very surprising. But it's one of those things, like alignment, right? Like, if I wouldn't have got fired from those jobs, I wouldn't have been in the position that I was in. And so, you know, I met Dino about a year and 3 months. It was a year and 3 months after I quit drinking when I was like, I need to take a Facebook ads course because I need to get better at marketing, you know? And so that's how it all kind of came together in a weird, twisted, roundabout way.
Yeah. And so now today you've got your wonderful program, and let's hear about that.
Well, so Dino said to me as I was in Facebook ad land struggling, tech was a nightmare for me in that program. I was like, I don't know how to do any of this at all. I was super overwhelmed. I sat down and I watched every video because I was like, I have to learn the language. It was like learning a completely different language. And I did it. I sat down because I spent that money, and that was money I did not have to spend back then. That $3,000 that I invested was like scraped from the couches to pay Dino, right? Yeah. But there was no way in hell that I was going to not get my return on investment. Like, at that point, I was like, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm in it to win it. I'm committed. And I struggled through the tech because I had literally, I was on the sales call, like, you don't understand. I have not touched a computer since high school. And they're like, you're going to be fine. We'll help you with everything. And I was like, all right. So I did. I learned the tech, and I was not good at it. I was terrible at it. But I was up late nights crying, trying to figure out how to put the damn pixel on the ads.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare, right? But what I did have was clients, because I had a lot of bartender connections. I knew a lot of people, but but I was really good at social media because I had spent the entire time, I was the last one on Facebook, the very last one. Was the last person to get on Facebook because I did not want to be on social media. I thought this shit was garbage. I was like, I'm not going to do it. But then I was bartending and I was a young mom and I realized this can make me money.
All of a sudden I was thinking, I didn't hit record, but I did. We're good.
Okay. No, it's in the corner. I see it.
Okay, good. Sorry, so go on. I'm engrossed in what you're saying. I'm like, anyway.
So I did the thing, right? I decided to get on Facebook and start using it to build my bar top back when Facebook was brand new. And so I became a bartender that had a way better following than everybody else because I was in touch with them on social media. I made friends with them. They'd come into the bar. We'd get our little phones out in the olden days and like connect Facebooks and do the thing, right? And I built my entire bar career on social media. So when I transitioned over to do Facebook ads, I had clients. It was no big deal. I mean, Dino had given me permission to charge these people for this, even though I was completely underqualified. He said, go ahead, we'll help you. And I was like, okay. So I landed 10 high ticket clients in 6 weeks. And Dino looked at me and said, how the fuck did you do that? And can you teach it to other people? And so I did. I helped a couple other people in his program start getting clients and optimize their Facebook group. And I started learning more about sales. I bought a sales course and started to get better at that piece. And then Dino said, I got a beta and I want you to come learn how to coach. And I said, okay, what am I going to coach?
Well, what do I know how to do? Me?
What do you mean? Like, I could coach bartenders, that's for sure. And that was the first kind of idea, you know, I was like, I'm going to coach bartenders. He's like, no, you dummy. You're going to teach people how to get clients online. And I said, is that a thing? Is that a thing? And he was like, yeah, it's definitely a thing. Like, other people don't have the skill set. And I was like, okay, whatever you say, put me in, coach. And then he made me niche down to women very reluctantly. I was not for that at all. Like, that was something that he twisted my arm on that because I was like, no, I don't want to work with women. It sounds awful. Had lots of not good experiences with women too, you know? So it was like catty girl drama and mean girls in high school, all the bullshit. When I was pregnant with my son, when I was 19, like my boyfriend knocked up the neighbor girl. Like, that was cat fights. And I was like,
oh man, I'm
good with women. I don't want to do that. But I did it anyways, because I promised myself that I was going to try to be coachable, which is not my strong point. Your son can attest to that. So I promised, I said, I'm going to try to be coachable. I'm going to listen. And so I niched down to women. And in doing that, I built the Wonder Woman concept. That whole thing. I was like, well, if I'm going to do women, I'm going to do it my way, which was unpopular at the time. And so I built that Facebook group and started helping people to use social media to really further their business in any business. It wasn't like I didn't have this niche thing on what kind of people. The first people that I helped was actually my mom, who was a Tantra expert. And I had a friend who was in network marketing who just sucked at it. And I was like, you just don't know how to use social media. Like, let me help you. And so I built my entire program based on the two of them. And then it turned out that it started working for everyone. My first girl to really crush it was a copywriter. She was in the program for 4 weeks. She was making peanuts when she was writing emails for $35 a pop at some agency. And she came in, applied these principles, and she landed a $3,500 client in the 4th week inside the program.
Nice.
And 2 days later, did it again. And then the following week, did it again. And so she went from making $1,200 a month to making $10,000 a month in just 4 weeks with me. And I said, shit, I got to raise my prices. Not charging enough at all.
At all. That's funny. Yeah. So, I mean, essentially what you're saying here is that it's about the mindset, right? Because the day you decided to quit drinking, you made up your mind and that was it. And then you made up your mind that you're going to do the course. Again, mindset, just focus, layer focus on what you want, on the goal. And I think that's so valuable for me as a career coach when I'm talking to people, because the first beginning of my course is all about mindset. And we are going to the Olympics and we are competing in 6 weeks and we have to win the gold. It's kind of the same thing. And the people that just don't do the work aren't going to get the results. And you're absolute proof of that.
Yeah, I mean, mindset is something that like I hadn't really heard that terminology coming into this. Like wasn't coming in with this big background in mindset, but it was very much a thing of like, one, I decided that I wasn't going to fail, right? Like that was part of it. It's like, I spent this money, I'm going to get results that end, right? Like I'm going to make the money back. I'm going to do the thing. I remember making that first, $16,000 a month with Dino in Facebook ad land. And I was like, I'm never going back. Like, I'm never going back to bartending. I am not doing that. So it was like, I was running from that. I was running from bartending and saying, I'm not going to go back behind the bar and, get my ass kicked for 90 hours a week to make $10,000 a month. If I can do this from my house, like, I'm just going to get really good at this. Right. And so it was like the commitment piece, but also that like, there was just no way I wasn't going to do it. Right. Like I made the decision and nothing could stop me. And people ask me all the time, they're like, well, it looks so easy for you. I'm like, bitch, this shit is not easy. Okay. Like I'm just not going to take no for an answer. Like that's what it comes down to is determination. And you're right. If you've decided that you can't do this and it's too hard for you, you're right. Yep. That's the end of it. Like no one can coach you out of a shitty mindset that has to do with that. Like if you've decided that this isn't for you, it's too hard, I can't do it, I can't help you with that. And no one can. You have to decide that you're not going to take no for an answer and that no matter what comes at you, you're going to figure out a solution. And I've always been a very solution-oriented person. I've just always used it for everybody else's benefit instead of my own.
Interesting. And so now today you have private clients as well as group clients. Tell us about your program. So
the program breakdown is I have an amazing, amazing group program full of, I have, 116 unicorns in my unicorn client attraction program. And that's my group program. And it's fun. Like it's fun. I mean, it's fun and it's work. It's a lot of mindset development because what I realized, just like you, was that you can give people all the strategies in the world. You can put them into a little cookie cutter box and give them all the strategies. And that's the easy part. It's believing that they're going to work. That's what most people struggle with. Right. And that self-doubt and who the hell am I to make this kind of money? And what if I can't help these people? What if they don't get results? All those fears start to come in. And I have a really interesting way of breaking down those fears to help people to overcome a lot of their own mindset because I've overcome so many different things, I mean, and real life things, not just like, I'm scared my clients aren't going to get results. It's more of like, like I'm scared that my boyfriend's going to come home and beat my ass and take all my money today, like those kind of fears. I'm scared that like my kid's not going to be able to eat because if I don't make enough money, like I can't pay rent, like real problems and like real fears. And I had the mindset at a very young age to overcome those things. And so I applied that principle of life or death, right? And being able to snap out of that survival mode and start thinking, even in really highly stressful situations. And, is your kid going to eat today is a very stressful situation. It's much more stressful than is my client going to get results today? Right. So I can take those mindset development pieces that I used in survival mode and move them into that thriving engineering developmental piece of your brain. I can help you do that. So in that program, the group program, I help people to learn how to look at themselves differently. That when they look in the mirror, they don't have to see who they saw yesterday. They can change that perception of themselves anytime you want, like anytime you want. Right. And so that program teaches you how to view yourself differently. And when you start thinking and feeling about yourself in a new way, the possibilities are limitless.
And sometimes you need just somebody else to show you who you really are. Yeah. I run into that all the time. People go, oh no, I don't, and they don't see what they have. Yeah. So, yeah, I get that.
No, people don't see what they have, and even worse, they see the worst parts of themselves. They don't see the good part. They see I'm the failure. I didn't do this. I spent too many years drinking. I can't. I've always done it this way, so I have to keep doing it this way. That limiting belief that comes in that I have to be who I was yesterday. That's society, right? That's society telling us to assimilate and do what you're told and be in the same box. You don't have to do that. There aren't really any rules.
I love it. I love it. Oh, you're so amazing. You are so amazing. Well, if you had one last thing to say to people, what would be your parting words before I get your information?
You know, the thing is, you guys, get out of your damn way. Like that's it. Like, you are the only thing that's in your way right now, no one else. And while you're blaming the economy or your parents or whatever you feel like blaming today, while you're blaming that, there's somebody out there who has 10 times, 100 times more things to overcome in their life, who's crushing your shit right now. One of the best things that I did for myself was I went and looked at the competition. I'm not a big fan of the blinders. I don't put the blinders on. I go and I look at my competition and I see the people that are doing these amazing things, and I let it inspire me. I let it change who I am by watching them. And sometimes this isn't very nice, but we're all past that by now, right? I look at them and I say, this person does not have what I have. This person doesn't care as much as I care. This person is not as smart as I am. This person doesn't market as well as I do. Why are they making more money than me? The only answer to that is because they decided to and I didn't. And I know, money, root of all evil and all the bullshit. But here's the thing, you guys. Like, money affords you something that nothing else can. It affords you impact. And while you're focused on your money and your 10K bobblehead month nonsense, somebody out there is absolutely slaying 100K months, $1 million months, because they're focused on the impact, not the income. And so that mindset shift has to occur. So why are you doing this today? And if you're going to let something stop you, just get out of the way and let someone who's better than you do it. Like, those are the cold, hard facts, because it doesn't matter if you get out of their way or not. They will. So if somebody else can do it, why not you?
And so somebody can come to you if they have an aspiration to coach. Is that what they're going to come to you to learn, or what is it that they will get?
Yeah, I mean, there's that element of, I do coach coaches for sure. But I mean, it's really anybody who wants to further their business online. If you want to make an impact using your business, using social media, it doesn't matter if you're a coach or, you know, somebody who wants to just do tantra classes or somebody who is a network marketer. All of these principles will work for you, because so much of it is the mindset development and how you use mindset to create solutions in your business.
Perfect. Outstanding. The world needs more of that. Well, Nicole, thank you. If somebody wants to reach out to you and reach you, what's the best bet?
Well, you got to come to the Facebook group. You got to be okay. You got to be okay with a lot of fucks, and you got to be okay with golden buttholes. As long as those two things you're qualified for, come on into the Facebook group. It's called Unicorn Client Attraction Secrets for High Vibe Wonder Women. And no, that's not a gender bias. Wonder Woman is a mindset in my world, and I have a bunch of male clients.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so it's not just for women.
No.
All right. Way to go.
I don't discriminate.
Well, Nicole, you're amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I hope we inspire lots of people to go out and do great things.
Yeah, me too. Thanks so much for your time today. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.